Namaste and welcome. If your bachelor's degree is in engineering or commerce, finance or economics or business or management, and you are applying to Germany for summer 2027, there is now a compulsory test that did not exist last year. It is called the dMAT. Registration closes on the 15th of September. The exam is on the 26th of September. That is about 5 weeks away. And this is the first time it has ever been held in India. Nobody has sat it yet, which is exactly why there is so much nonsense being said about it. I have read all 3 official documents end to end. 58 pages of preparation material, the 8-page list of affected degrees, and the APS India notification. 8 questions, and for every single one, I will put the official document on the screen and highlight the line. If I cannot show it to you, I will not say it. 30 seconds first on how to practice this properly, and then I will not mention it again until the end. Every paper in our mock series is 90 questions. Core module and subject module together, 165 minutes under a real clock. 10 papers, 900 questions, and the sample test is free. 20 questions, no card. Right, let's get to the documents. Question 1, and it is the one everybody is asking, do I even have to take this? The requirement applies to applicants whose undergraduate degree is in one of 3 fields: engineering, commerce, accounting, finance, economics, or business and management. Note that word, undergraduate. It is your bachelor's that decides this, not the master's you are applying for. APS India has published the actual list, 8 pages, version 1, dated the 29th of June. The link is in the description. But the 2 sentences that matter most are both on page 1. 1. The list is, in their words, not exhaustive. You can be affected even if your exact field is not printed in it. 2. The official wording on the degree certificate is decisive. So go and look at your actual degree certificate, not the college website, not what you say in conversation, what is printed on the paper. And here is the part that will catch the most people in India. If your degree is computer related, listen very carefully. Computer science and engineering is covered, computer engineering is covered, information science and engineering is covered. But standalone computer science, BCA, computer applications, IT, AI, data science, cybersecurity, the document says these are not automatically covered. The same pattern in biotech. Biotechnology engineering is covered. B.Sc biotechnology is not automatically covered. One word on the certificate is doing all of the work. And if your subject sits between 2 areas, engineering management, business analytics, financial technology, APS India names those cases specifically and classifies them individually. One warning before we move on. This list only tells you whether the test applies to you. It says nothing about whether your degree is recognized in Germany. 2 different questions and the document says so itself. Still unsure? Email APS India, not an agent. Question 2. Am I exempt? Some of you are, and you can stop worrying right now. You are exempt if you completed your APS online registration before the 29th of June or shipped your complete APS documents before the 29th of June. And it applies to the summer semester 2027 intake and later. If you are going this winter, this is not your problem at all. You can also send your APS documents now before you have the dMAT certificate. But your APS certificate is only issued once the dMAT certificate has been submitted and checked. Sending early does not get you out of the test. Question 3. When, where, and how much? Registration opened on the 29th of June and closes on the 15th of September. The exam is on the 26th of September. Results and certificates on the 12th of October. The fee is €150 paid at registration. 10 test centers across India plus Kathmandu in Nepal, from Ahmedabad and Bengaluru through to Mumbai, New Delhi and Pune. The page says the final list is confirmed during registration, so if you need a particular city, book early rather than late. Question 4, and this is where nearly everybody gets confused. Which module do I take? The dMAT has 2 parts, a core module and a subject module. And if you open the dMAT website, you will see several subject modules listed: battery science, data science, chemistry, physics, mechanical engineering. People message us asking, which one do I choose? Do I need the data science one? Do I have to revise chemistry? No, here is the sentence. Read it with me. Applicants whose degree falls within one of these areas are required to take dMAT with the general academic module. And here is their own diagram of the test. Core module on the left, subject module on the right. And the subject module says, in their words, general academic module. Settled. For the APS India process, your subject module is the general academic module. You do not choose it and you cannot change it. Those other modules belong to specific programs at specific German universities. That is a different process. It is not yours. Question 5, and this is the most useful thing in this video because I have not heard anybody say it out loud. What is actually in the general academic module? Page 33, you get a text, then questions about that text, 4 options each, 1 correct answer. 90 minutes for the whole thing. And if you do not know, the instructions tell you to guess. Now, what is the text about? Their words. Mathematics, computational sciences, natural sciences, engineering, business administration, economics, social sciences, and humanities. And here are the 4 official practice texts they published. Vector calculations, hydrostatics, optimal order quantity, research strategies in social sciences. Look at that spread: maths, physics, business, social science. So understand what that means. If you are a BCom graduate, you can be handed a physics text. If you are a mechanical engineer, you can be handed one on research methods in social sciences. General academic does not mean your subject. It means any subject. Now, before you panic, read the next part because the same document takes it straight back. Everything you need to answer is in the text in front of you. The official wording is that the dMAT requires transfer and application skills rather than memorized factual knowledge. You are not being tested on whether you remember hydrostatics. You are being tested on whether you can read something unfamiliar under time pressure and use it correctly. That is a skill. And unlike a syllabus, it is a skill you can build in 5 weeks. Question 6. What is in the core module? It is the same for everybody, and it is 3 subtests: figure sequences, mathematical equations, Latin squares. 20 questions in 25 minutes each, 90 minutes in total. Do that division and it is 75 seconds a question. And a detail that shows how carefully these are written. 3 of the 4 sections officially tell you to guess if you do not know. Mathematical equations does not, because it is the only section with no answer options at all. You produce the numbers yourself. There is nothing to guess between. Question 7, and I am asked this more than any other. Can I use pen and paper? No, no pen, no paper, no rough sheet, nothing to write with and nothing to write on. You may not take notes throughout the exam. That sentence appears 3 separate times in the preparation materials. It is not a footnote. They are making sure you cannot miss it. And there is a second half that almost everybody misses. They tell you to practice that way too. So if you are sitting with a notebook open right now, you are practicing the wrong exam. Close it tonight. It will feel much harder for about a week, and then it will feel completely normal. This one habit is the biggest difference between people who are ready in September and people who are not. The exam itself runs about 3 hours with a 30-minute break between the 2 parts. Question 8. What if I score badly? I will answer this one only in their words. The dMAT is not a standalone pass or fail test for the APS certificate. And a low dMAT score does not automatically lead to a refusal of the APS certificate. So it is not a gate that ends your application on the spot. But I'm not going to tell you the score does not matter. It goes on your APS certificate and universities can see it. Nobody has sat this exam yet, so anyone telling you exactly how universities will weigh that number is guessing. I would rather you prepared properly and never found out. And one last thing. The dMAT does not replace degree recognition. Your university still has to be listed correctly in Anabin. Nothing there has changed. So, 5 weeks. Here is what I would do in order. First, subscribe to this channel. We are making one full video for every section of this exam. Figure sequences is up, mathematical equations is up, Latin squares and the general academic module are next. These are not overviews. We sit and solve the hard questions together using the official rules with no notes. Second, follow us on Instagram. We post dMAT practice questions there constantly. 1 question in your feed while you are already scrolling, the cheapest revision that exists. Third, and this is the one that actually moves your score, practice under a real clock. 75 seconds a question, nothing to write on, a format you have never seen, and a subject text that might come from a field you have never studied. None of that is a knowledge problem. It is a speed and nerve problem, and there is exactly one way to fix it. Sit the whole thing under time, more than once. 10 papers, 900 questions, and the sample is free. One last thing. Every source in this video is linked below. Please go and read them yourself. Dates move, rules change, and no video is a substitute for the official notification. Registration closes on the 15th of September. Do not leave it to the last week. Prepare well, Germany's worth it.